Media Lab, and so on. So the first question that I have, and we'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away, is what are your thoughts on Common Core? Are you for or against it, and why?
Thank you. You know, I strongly support the standards that we are currently teaching in public schools in Georgia. But at the end of the day, my opinion is not the most important opinion. The opinion of our teachers, and we've surveyed our teachers across this state. Over 11,000 teachers responded. 70 to 75% of our teachers are in favor or strongly in favor of the standards we're teaching. They're not perfect. They're good standards, but they're not perfect. And I am very open to an open, transparent, periodic review of the standards to make sure that we get it right. But you know what? We already do that. We already have a process in place where we put the standards before the public. We allow people to weigh in. Those standards get gone over multiple times as they're developed before they become final. And I'm for that. I want to get it right. I believe we're close. We're not there, but we're going to use the review process and get it from the teachers, those closest to the kids in the classroom. I was fortunate enough to attend the hearing last week where approximately 60 people spoke. The vast majority of them spoke on behalf of the standards. But let me tell you who some of those organizations were. It was representatives from the military. There was a Rear Admiral who represented 400 admirals and generals. I have personally met with the student organization, the children of military families, and heard the horror stories of what happens when they have to transfer. The very men and women who are protecting our rights to be in this room having this discussion, those are the children who suffer the most if we're all over the board. So they're not perfect, but they're very good. Had lunch today with a school board member, small district, 3,000 students. He said, if you change the standards, it will cost our district $500,000 in staff development and everything that we'll have to do. Our districts can't afford it. It's not best for teachers, kids.
Richard?
Yeah, in 2010, I was one of the Republican candidates, and one part of my platform at that point was I was against Race to the Top. I was against the Common Core. You know, one of the things I think we have to understand to start off with, that we as in Georgia, is that if we're going to improve education, we have to control education. And that means that, first of all, we need to follow the Constitution. You know, education is not a enumerated power given in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. It is something that's very specific in Article 8 of our Georgia Constitution, which basically gives, really control at the local level. So I think, we need to begin at that point just to follow the Constitution. Amazing what happens when you follow the rule of law and the way things that were set up with our founding fathers. The standards themselves, again, to be able to address everything, we need to make sure that we own the copyright. We need to make sure that we own everything about what goes on in Georgia education as far as our standards are concerned. Because each child is different. As I said before, we need to personalize education and not standardize education. So by doing so and controlling education and again rejecting, the notion that, this is a blanket, we need to, go back, look at the standards, look at everything thoroughly. We need to also do a better job of implementation. Now, you've heard there are a lot of teachers who are, for or perhaps with this, but one of the very critical things we've looked at is that implementation has been horrible. It was horrible under No Child Left Behind. So we are chasing down the same road that we are just, just came out of. So I think if history, if we do not pay attention, we will repeat it. Well, I can let you know for certain that as an individual who implemented No Child Left Behind, who has seen what we are doing here with Race to the Top, we are repeating history all over. And it will not serve our education, it will not serve our kids, it will not serve our teachers. So, let's look at this, make sure that whatever we adopt is sound. We could have done better, but we chose not to. Thank you.
Thank you.